People climb to heights I've never seen. Too many falling down off their feet. These stories take digging deep. Eyes wide open, words unspoken. Where are you going, darling? Where have you been? Stories to tell, emotions we felt, good and the bad in the hands we've been dealt. I wanna know why, I wanna know why you're the way you are. Why you're the way you are. Why you're the way you are. Tiptoe around with face of a stranger. Quiet observer, never get too close. I see the world, but it's through this window. Another side to see, I'm ready to know. Not every story's written on a sleeve. Some stories take digging deep. Eyes wide open, words unspoken. Where are you going, darling? Where have you been? Stories to tell, emotions we felt, good and the bad in the hands we've been dealt. I wanna know why, I wanna know why you're the way you are. He's from the city, she's from the south. Two different chapters told miles out. Their back row living in his White House. So many stories that I need to know. Not every story's written on a sleeve. Some stories take digging deep. Eyes wide open, words unspoken. Where are you going, darling? Where have you been? Stories to tell, emotions we felt, good and the bad in the hands we've been dealt. I wanna know why you're the way you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Silverline's Wednesday Night WHAM! Hosted by Scott Wakefield!
It is Wednesday Wham. We are Silverline. I'm Scott. Thank you for that intro, Tim. We've been away for a while. We've missed you. We've had Thanksgiving and we had our romp with Comet Conway and
I
last
thought we were talking about something else.
different romp.
Oh.
Fun, the party with the Comet Conway folks. I will tell them thank you from us, from our show. We had 3 weeks of that, 3 Saturdays, 4 hours. That's like 3 times, that's like 100 hours of video with us talking all manner of topics. So if you, when you're done watching this, hop over there and watch our shows on the Comet Conway Facebook page. I'm sure they're still there. And in the interim, we've all enjoyed our holidays, and we will introduce ourselves if you've forgotten who we are. And we're, as I said, Silverline Wednesday Wham. This is the Wednesday show. We have a small group tonight. Some folks are missing. Lives are busy, and that's okay. Tonight's topic, we are going to talk about board games and what we love and what we hate, board games we've enjoyed, board games that have made us fly into angry, screaming rages, or at least
What about board games that made you bored?
Board games that made you bored, and
Yes,
there are those, and we will talk about pretty much anything else we want to talk about because that's what we do. And if you are watching, you are welcome to ask a question. And if you do watch this later, you are welcome to ask a question in the comments, and we try our best to respond to those. Um, Even if it's weeks or months later, we try to keep an eye on those. But feel free to ask anything about the topic or comic books, movies, video games, Florida. You're welcome to all sorts of questions.
Get out.
How about the lockdown? Everybody still being locked down, that kind of stuff.
That's a good time to play board games with the family.
That's right. You're all stuck in the house.
Yep. I don't know if we are still in a board game renaissance, but I know board games are still doing well, and I think that's awesome. I love board games. And the rules for the night, which we never really have any rules, but board games, I think pretty much if you sit around a table and play a game, other than like role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, I'm not.
Wait a minute, that was going to be some of my board games I was going to talk about.
Then it's completely in play.
Okay,
we're going to talk about that. Yeah, we'll have a loose definition of board games and card games.
We seem to have a loose definition of everything here.
Tabletop
we
games.
Always have. We're tabletop games, yes. Even if you want to talk about LARPing,
there you go.
How is that a board game? Is there a board game for?
I have no idea.
That'd be kind of neat.
I have never LARPed. So as is our custom, and we like to introduce ourselves, so you guys know who you're watching here, who you're interacting with, and we will do this now. We do this at the end. Oh, and in the middle, we do have a review from Wayne. I don't know the title. I'm sorry. And he always has a cool comic book. I always love his suggestions. And if you're looking for something to pick up, go with, unless he says it totally stinks. But he usually has some good titles, and he's got some good feedback and what he loves and thought needed improvement. So that's going to be right about the 10 o'clock mark. We'll throw in the Wayne review. So let's get started, and we'll say hello and say who we are and what we do for Silverline. I will start at the bottom of my screen, and Mr. Brent Larson, you are at the bottom of my screen right now. Why don't you go ahead and say hello?
Hello, I'm Brent Larson. I am the creator and writer on the Silverline book Kalis, which we are hoping to launch issues 3 and 4 simultaneously early next year. I'm also the creator and writer on an upcoming Silverline book called Cape Town. You can find me on the Insta at brent.vector. Also on my website, brenttlarson.com. I'm coming to you live from Orlando, Florida, where it is freezing, sub-zero in the low
Sub-zero? What?
Yes, that is cold. I don't care what anybody
says. And man, I got this close to actually breaking out in goose flesh. You just think about that one.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for telling us where you are geographically and the plight of Floridians, Orlandoites right now. Thank you. I feel for you. I'm going to move up the screen and to the right a little here. Royal Boyle, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Rory Boyle. I don't remember what I do anymore. Co-creator, Steam Patriots with Scott, and I live just up the road from where Brent could steal all my Florida jokes.
Oh man, we should
have called ahead.
At least we're not wearing the same clothes.
But not this time.
Embarrassing. Well, give it a second. Rory has been known to
change exactly
costume adjustments.
I was thinking about going and run in the other room and getting a Harry Potter.
Right.
Do it.
Everyone has their black and blue baseball tee right next to them, right? So when Brent leaves, we just all become Brent.
Right. All right, Tommy, go ahead.
Thomas Floramonte Jr. I've been a comic creator since the early 90s. I've worked for Malibu, Ultraverse stuff, some Marvel stuff, some DC stuff, even some Image stuff. A lot of inking for pretty much everybody, but I also draw and color and and a little bit of writing as far as, well, I consider it writing. You guys don't, the writers in the group here, though. But they, yeah, I just make up stuff so I can have something to draw. But right now, we just, I think actually all of the Kickstarter stuff for the Trumps book are out, and now I am inking on, okay, I got to get it right or Roland's going to get mad. It is called, what is it called? Silverline Team Up featuring Champion and Miss Fury. Did I get it right?
Don't ask me. Sounds good to me.
That's what it's called. Yep.
I
So
like
I get it. Yep. And then I will also be inking the upcoming Demons book, Demon Tales, because I inked the first one way back in the day, and so I really wanted to get on that when it starts up again. Which, but I'm also the co-owner of the Kablam Digital Printing, the #1 comic book printing company in the world.
Woohoo!
Tim, you didn't
Alright.
do the big deep voice thing. World.
Okay.
And and I also do my own stuff, like Kid Hero Line stuff over at Inferno Studios. So, and since I guess I'm the only artist folk here today, I'll probably stream some inking in the background when we get past all the intros.
I thought you were going to say I do my own stunts.
I do stunts. I can do a backflip. I'll do it later.
Oh,
You have to wait. You have to wait to the second hour before we do backflip.
I thought we were going to live stream you doing crossword puzzles.
Ooh, Christmas themed.
Yeah,
Sudoku.
Christmas themed Sudoku?
we could.
All right, Tim GK, go ahead.
Oh, I'm from Orlando. Boo. There we go. Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Is it cold there too?
It is. I did wear a jacket today, but just like the other Floridians, as soon as it gets in the 70s, we all freeze up and have to put on long sleeve shirts and pants.
All right. I am Tim TK. I am the associate editor at Silverline and the writer and creator of Wolf Hunter, as well as the running editor, person who puts together the craft blog series, as well as other scheduling things for online content. I'm also the producer / seducer for the Wednesday night show.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
And
The after show.
exactly, yeah.
That's
And I am, I guess, also the voice of Silverline announcements.
The voiceover guy. That's good.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Tommy, let me know how you feel about this.
Okay, let me hear.
Kablam! Digital printing for comics, manga, and graphic novels since 2005.
I think we got that recorded
Yeah.
and captured. Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Say something that starts with "in a world."
Yes. That's good.
Mm.
Think about it. Think about it.
In a world where steam, in a world where steam
guys
technology has
talk
run
about
British commerce.
Okay, all right. Let's keep it serious here. Professional. All right.
Okay.
My name is Scott, and I am co-creator and co-writer of Steam Patriots, an upcoming title from
And
Silverline.
you're going to actually show a bunch of pages today, I heard, through the grapevine.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe. Like, let me. Maybe.
If
I don't know how to easily do that.
I am so ready to see this book.
Yeah, me
you have pages saved up, you can just send them to me over one of our mini-fold messaging apps, and I can download them.
I thought I did that, but I can't keep track. That's
Okay.
okay.
I put you on the spot. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You threw me off. I had a whole cool
Okay,
intro.
okay, let's start
that
over.
Michael
But don't
Lanning
forget to
does.
interrupt.
Ruined.
It's gone.
I interrupted.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
Wednesday Wham has been.
Wham, wham, wham. God, wait, Bill.
Please tune in 2 weeks from tonight.
Let's
I
start over.
also try to help work on publicity for Silverline. So if you have a show, a podcast, a stream, a blog, anything out there, and you would like some of our creatives to be on your show, we would love that because all of us indies need to support each other. And when we are on your shows, we talk you up and you talk us up, and it all is great for everybody. So keep us in mind and reach out to me if you would like any of our folks to grace your shows with their beautiful visages and baritone voices.
I'm the cheapest.
Yeah. Rory will pay you. And that's me. That's me. I'm done with me. So, Silverline. Before I forget, a W, which I don't even know if that's required
2
anymore.
or 3.
Old man with those. Silverlinecomics.com. You can find all of our titles and links to those digitally if you would like to download them. And you can see old titles, upcoming titles, news. You can see Tim's craft blog series there and his interviews, which he does a fantastic job for. So please go there. Also, our link, and I'm blanking here, it's a Zazzle store, right?
Yes.
Our store. Sorry, I had it open and I closed the window. Yes. Zazzle.com and then /Silverline. And you can find all the cool Silverline swag and gear. We got some pretty fancy t-shirts and all the goodies. So we would love if you represented and hopped over there and checked out our store. And coming up, I got this announcement just in from Mr. Roland Mann, the honcho, the Grand Poobah. Next week, stay tuned, watch all of our social streams. We are going to be having a live auction next week of mystery boxes full of awesome Silverline stuff. And I don't have all the details. I would guess there will be comic books and probably other comic book related goodies.
Maybe some odd clothes that Roland and them.
Tommy might be in one.
Roland's cleaning out his garage and he's got to
Maybe something from the refrigerator.
I got turkey leftovers.
Pork and beef, leftover turkey.
I can't promise Roland won't throw something in from his house, but we're gonna have mystery boxes for live auction, and those details will be forthcoming. So keep an eye on our pages here, and we will keep you updated on that. And that is the Silverline shameless promotion. I think I'm done. We are going to move on and talk about board games. I love board games. I have always loved not cards so much. My family wasn't much of a card playing family, but board games we were really into. And and for cards in Western New York, and I don't know if it's like a just regional, but is anyone else familiar with euchre?
Oh yeah.
Well, Rory, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Euchre club in high school. It was a big thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, so maybe
That's a drink, right?
Probably.
Is that just like say Yu-Gi-Oh with a New York accent?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Euchre. You guys play them euchres?
Okay, so that is a
Jersey
card
kind of
game
thing.
that I did grow up with, sort of grew up with. But my family has we've got a big family reunion we have every year in West Virginia, and my cousins, it's kind of become our thing to find a game or two that's new and we bring it to our reunion to kind of play test it and introduce it to the rest of our family, and we have a great time with that. And that's been how I found most of the board games that I really, really like. And with a bunch of us, and some of them are duds, and we learn that, but we really have a great time with it. The thing is with my family is we all try to be nice to the kids, and I know. we always have,
That's
we always
terrible.
have everybody joining. Hey, what are you playing? Hey, what are you playing? And they join in, and we always start the game over, and and it's okay. So we occasionally have to just set them straight, and we say, we are playing this game. If you don't know how to play it, sorry, we're not explaining the rules to you. And we have to do that every once in a while, but we have a great time. And my kids totally into board games, usually pretty good about it. Sometimes it does fly off the rails, and
Tables get flipped.
there is anguish, there is consternation and grinding of teeth. But
So you're playing a lot of Go Fish and that
yes,
kind of stuff.
oh yeah, a lot of consternation with that. Yeah. So that's my board game talk for now. I don't want to chat over. Does somebody want to get started with a fan favorite, a household favorite?
Well, since you were talking about card games, or I was talking about card games, we like to play when we do play. We play like a crazy version of Uno, where we use like 5 or 6 decks.
Oh yeah.
And we just jam up. So it's like a super, and we make up our own rules and stuff. And then on some of the cards, I got to dig them out, but some of the cards we write different rules on there,
sure.
like.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
so you just disregard what's on this card. Like the wild cards and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then it'd be games that we would play. This was mostly back in college. We started doing this. We would play, and the game would last like 5 or 6 hours, just one game, and you would just keep going, and you just keep piling on. It's one of those things where you usually if you don't have one, you pull one, right? No, but the way we played it, you kept pulling until you finally got one that you could play. So you could end up, you'd have like, you were Uno, you'd have 1 card left and you couldn't play it. And then you'd end up with 50 cards before it was time for you to,
Right.
That kind of thing. So,
I like it.
but yeah. And then, Uno is always a fun card game.
And it's
I guess I have to say I like Trumps too,
Yeah.
for the card game, just for the comic book thing.
Right, yeah.
That's for rolling.
It's probably people like you, Tommy, that have given rise to the misconception about Uno rules, because the rule is if you don't have a card, if you can't match, you draw 1.
One. No,
But it has crept into many households that you keep drawing.
Yes.
And then
we wanted the games to last
no,
a
that's
long
fine.
time. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but I had to dispel that
Yes.
with
No, I think you're right. The rule is you're supposed to take 1, I think, and then you go. But no, it's like you pull and pull and pull,
Right.
and start getting pissed because you still don't have it. And then we had some kind of version where if depending on, I can't remember we had a crazy rule that you could only pull a certain color card from the person that was the person as you were going around. So even if you put a yellow, and you may have a yellow, that if the card had a little dot on it or something, we could say, no, you can't play that card. And then we just made up some crazy, stupid rules. So it was fun.
We're all playing by Floor Monty rules now.
That's right. we call it like Super Uno.
Yeah, the my cousins had a deck where it was 2-sided. Has anyone seen the 2-sided Uno? And there's a flip,
No.
and so your hand will, and I don't remember. It's more than just different cards. They are. I mean, it's not like they're just you have a red 2 and then it's a yellow 7. It's something else to it. And I saw it briefly, but yeah, there's a flip, and everybody has to flip their hand. So kind of messes up the planning. I like games like that, and I'm going to talk about one in a little bit, where you can make all the best laid plans for your game, for your hand or whatever, and it has that variable that can just ruin all your plans. I like those. They're great equalizers to games, and my screen just went goofy.
Oh, that might be because Tommy's sharing his art.
Okay, I'm going to embiggen my screen again.
Embiggen.
Thank you. That
It's
is
a perfectly cromulent word.
1,000 points for you, Brent. Thank you.
Did you want me to close this back down?
No,
No,
it's
you're
okay.
Okay.
Rory, what do you got?
Yes.
Give us a board game, my friend.
Well, we could play the classic family and friendship ending Monopoly in all of its 1,000 variations, including
Oh,
Oh,
right.
wow.
Oh, what did you have? What did you have? I missed it. Monopoly. Which one? Which one?
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard Monopoly. So cool.
Yeah, so my parents would never let us walk away from a game or quit. We had to play to the end.
Oh, that was a game where you just
Oh,
quit towards the
yeah.
end. Yeah, it's like, no, I'm not playing anymore.
And they were ruthless about it. They really enjoyed kicking our butts. Kick out, drag out.
Now, Rory, this is another game. This is a great combo from Uno to Monopoly. Another game with house rules.
That's true.
So tell me, Rory, and your answers are not wrong because you were reared this way.
That's right. I know no better.
If you go around your first time around the board, do you buy property or not?
No.
Wrong. You can.
Oh. I thought you said I couldn't be wrong. Thanks, Dad.
Not right. How's that?
All right,
So,
that's acceptable.
Next, if you roll whatever 2 or I don't know, and you land on property, what are your options?
On the first go around?
On the the first time you can buy them, you mean? Or
What you tell me?
Yeah.
are we like halfway into the game?
No. This is your first. You have left go. You have rolled the die.
You can buy the property or not buy the property.
Wrong again.
It must go to auction.
This is not fun, Mr. Scott.
This is why the Boyle household
Dad.
was in strife. You have to buy it. If you decline, it goes to auction. And the other.
Oh yeah, well I thought that. Yeah.
Someone has to buy it. You don't get to just pass it up.
So the bank buys it if you don't.
Oh yeah. So why nobody wants it, Mr. Scott?
I believe starting players is obligated to like a bid of $1.
Yes, I think someone has to.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you could be stuck with it whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But then also you're walking with the property for like $1. So
right.
True.
Something like, but yes, someone has to buy it, and that's a good question. I do not know that part of the rule.
Yeah, because I didn't.
Don't be spouting off rules. You don't know the answer to.
I didn't discover the auction rule until fairly recently in life, like just a couple years ago, and I was like, oh wait, this is actually just like this has been in the books since this game got printed.
Since 1930, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if you land on free parking, what happens?
Nothing.
Good, nothing. People think you get the money that goes in the middle. You don't.
That's what we always played.
Yeah.
Can you earn money? Can you earn money while you're in jail?
No.
You can.
But I do have a rebuttal.
But it's like less than minimum wage, and I've been there before, and it's learn how to play harmonica and juvie. There's no juvie in Monopoly.
That was Goldman Sachs' whole shtick. He just made money in jail.
Brent has a retort.
If you get a chance or a community chest card or whatever, and you need to pay the bank, and instead you pay free parking. What if you want to do that instead of not having any cash in the middle? Is that okay?
Say it again.
I do not know.
Well, you were making the point. What happens if you land on free parking? What do you get? And your answer is nothing. And and my rebuttal is, well, what if you get something?
I'll have to look that one up because I was just under the impression that when you land on free parking, nothing happens. It's just a free spot.
Yeah, I'm reading.
Okay.
I'm going to be the rules lawyer now.
I
A
have
player landing on this place does not
question.
receive any money, property, or reward of any kind. This is just a free
Oh,
resting
you pulled the
place.
book out?
Yeah.
What happens if you land on a property your first time around and you don't want to buy it, but you don't want to auction it off either? What do you do
You
then?
have to. It goes to auction.
But what if you don't want to?
Well,
The-
then you leave. Then you're kicked out.
This
and
place,
you go home.
this place has strange property rights.
I don't want to either.
You get to go play.
This
Shoot
is
the
where
Ladders.
two different kinds of people shake out. there are rural fascists,
Yes.
and there's the rest of us. And we're like, why don't we just make free parking a more interesting thing? And then there's the guy in the room that's going,
9. So Brent,
somewhere in like the Lyra galaxy, like something just imploded because some guy wanted to put money on free parking, and somehow the fabric of the cosmos just unraveled a little bit more.
Brent, I am in complete agreement with you. These are house rules, and what I'm saying though is most of them though do add to the length of the game. So Rory's tormented childhood could have been eased up a little if
They would have
these-
found other ways.
right. Because it could have said, but father,
We're,
and he could-
we're trying to stop other children from turning out like Rory.
Okay.
We're starting a new nonprofit.
So Rory played Monopoly in like some weird Dickinsonian universe.
he did.
Yes, yeah.
More. That was his youth in
Yes.
jolly old
Yes.
England.
You can't have your pudding until you finish your meat. You can't have your meat until you finish this game of Monopoly.
And the streets of Cleveland.
That's right.
Uh,
The hard streets.
Yes, I played a Monopoly game again with another cousin in Pennsylvania, and it went so long. And this was the days of Polaroid cameras. Because we didn't have cell phones, and we took a picture of our board because I had to go home, and
just to make sure that you
got it out. Yeah,
God,
the,
you
ne-
guys could play
Wow.
the next
You're
time.
serious.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of if really seriously if I ever played a Monopoly game to the end, because I think we always just got fed up with it and just end up, you won and then leave and just
Yep.
start counting the money and put it away. Or not counting it, but putting it all together and just being done. I don't know if I've ever finished a game, but you have though.
I have, yes.
No.
Even
Apparently every time you have. So
Rory has. I don't
Yeah.
think
I can tell you how every game ends.
with you flipping the
You
board up and
you lose, and mom and dad are laughing their asses off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Rory. Oh, we got.
see
If we
what's
have
going
any
on, don't
therapists
complain.
out there, if you can offer advice, Rory,
Yes.
Or it's like, I need to use the restroom. I'll be back in a minute. And you just never come
Never,
back.
you just ghost them. Ghost them.
Yep.
Thomas, are you coming back to finish playing? Tommy!
Just cut to the bathroom. The windows open.
I'm
Drapes are
outside
blowing.
riding a bike or
Yep.
something. I'm gone. Get there.
Bring, bring.
Brent, I know you have expressed you are not that into board games, but you got any that you like?
Well, I feel the need to first explain myself a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not crazy about board games, but do you guys know Axis and Allies?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because that game, oh
Yeah.
man, there are not levels of hate and created for me to explain that game. And I've only played it once, but my friend was like, hey, let's play this game. And we sat down and we started playing it. And after a while, I realized that nothing had actually happened, but they were all abuzz as if like monuments had been created. And I was like, so how long is this thing supposed to take? And he's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours. And I'm like, dude, I can't think of anything I like doing for that
Right.
amount of time. So after another hour, I was so mad. I was Britain and he was Germany. And I just took everything I had and threw it at Germany in a huge suicidal move. If this had really happened in real life, we'd be living in a very dark world. And therefore died, and then went and played Mortal Kombat 2 by myself.
Oh yeah.
Statement. And that was when I knew there was some kind of divergence that happened between me and everyone else. And frankly, like I have friends who love this stuff, and they have all the underground board game makers, and and they love, finding out what the status of this game is that's been rumored for so long. And it sounds really cool, but it's like me in sports. I'm watching it from a distance, and I'm thinking, oh man, I just can't do it. And I've tried. The last time my friends and I had a game night, I played for like 10 minutes, and then I sat next to them and read a book the whole time. And I was as happy as a clam, and they did their thing. And I don't know. I have played Candyland with my little niece. I did that last Christmas. And the only thing I noticed was, even when I'm trying to be nice, I'm still not really having much fun. And man, what has happened to Candyland? It's like the calorie-free version of Candyland. I'm not joking. It's like some parent groups got a hold of it or something, and now I don't know. It feels like, I know it's not this way. I'm exaggerating, but it's like Rice Cake Mountain and
Yeah.
granola bar
Granola
fall.
swamp.
Yeah.
It's like they're afraid the kids will play this game
Yeah.
and then will want to go out and eat candy. I never saw that connection. So it's just a sign to me, not only that board games are not my thing, but they could also be a symbol of a dying culture. So that's really my opinion about board games. Also, the movie Battleship wasn't as bad
Oh.
as everybody said.
All right.
That's really all I've got. So,
Thank you. Brent, the mind of Brent Larson is always
Something
so
else.
multifaceted
Well of knowledge.
and deep.
And
Thank
irrelevant
you
in
for
many
saying
ways.
that, because so now we have movies based on games. We got Clue, Battleship. Anybody else?
Jumanji?
Was Jumanji a game first?
Was Jumanji a movie and then a game and then a
No,
movie?
I think it was
again?
just a movie.
I think-
I was just trying to be stupid.
Hmm.
I don't know. So if we think of any, we'll add those to our list. So far we have 2. And yes, Clue is. I wish John Medic were here. He could get all giddy. Clue is a fantastic movie. Has everybody seen Clue?
Well, which ending?
Every
did you
ending.
see?
All of them. All of them.
All of the endings.
I love that movie. We have watched that's one that comes up about every year with us. And when people haven't seen it, we force them to watch it, even though they were stopping in for 10 minutes. We make them sit down and watch Clue. That is another one with I can't remember. It's got another rule that people play wrong, but I won't get into that lest I anger Brent.
No, please.
Well, what is the rule? Which rule are we not
Board
playing
game
right?
I think it's people think you have to be in the room to accuse or
Yeah.
suspect.
Huh.
You can
Don't
accuse in any room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you accuse, it draws you and that person into that room, so you can also
Thank
use that to move across the board.
Mhm.
Yes. Yep. Thank you. And
Oh, really?
yeah,
I didn't.
I haven't
I
played in a
don't
long time. There's another
know.
rule
It's been
that
a while
people
since I played too.
kind of exploit. Anyways, so great game, very fun movie. If you haven't watched that, Tim, you got a classic game you still like?
A classic game that my favorite one growing up, and that I don't have a copy of currently. But I was Risk, and I had all the Star Wars editions, the
Oh,
original
yeah.
trilogy, the prequel trilogy,
Risk is always a
and then
interesting game to play.
Yes.
and that was kind of our family game that we played on all of our retreats and everything like that. And then 2015, summer of 2015, before I moved down to Florida, I was in a my town's game league tournament for Risk, and I won. So my name is laser engraved on a trophy somewhere in a Domino's.
That's impressive. That's impressive. That's I think the best I've done is a wings challenge somewhere, a hot wings challenge in Buffalo.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yep. That's
Name wasn't laser engraved though.
Nope. No, I didn't
A
even get a
1,000 years from now, some archaeologist is going to pull that out of the rubble. Like, Tim TK. Yeah, it was important.
he must have been a president or something.
Right. Well, it's great. So they have it's a bronze GameCube controller, and they have on the base they have just steel plaquing all the way around, and then they've broken up the chunks so each person gets their game and their name engraved on it and the year they won. So it, I think it's probably full by now, but yeah.
Wait, did you say where was it at?
It's at the Domino's in Dallas in Oregon, yeah.
Pizza Hut went in my head, and I
I thought Pizza Hut too. I don't know why.
yeah, I thought I don't know how many are
Oh.
left.
Pizza Hut does make the superior pizza, but
What's that?
I said Pizza Hut doesn't make the superior pizza, but
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. I think. Yeah, our local Pizza Hut's gone. So sad.
Oh,
Right.
So is our Bob Evans and our
No.
what's the other one? No, Denny's closed for a while, but it's back in action. That's good.
You
Bob
can't-
Evans is the best.
you can't keep a Denny's down.
No, you can't.
And there's still a Perkins or two out there. I know that.
Really?
What?
Out
Or
there.
friendlies?
Friendly, yeah. Friendlies are
Got any
that's a Pennsylvania and Ohio thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
got any Bennigans in the area?
In Florida, I know
No.
this.
Oh,
Is it?
friendlies?
Yeah, my wife and I were there overnight a couple weekends ago for our anniversary, and we actually saw Friendlies, and so we went in and had their Reese's Pieces Sunday,
Ooh.
yeah, it was fantastic, and I lamented that Orlando had it and they let it slip away.
Oh.
For a moment, I thought you stayed the night at a friendly.
That's what I was going
Somebody-
That's how much we love Friendlies.
Yeah.
They are very friendly.
Yeah.
Very friendly. Friendly.
You want a booth? Stay the night.
Yeah. Yeah. Good old
Bring your luggage in.
There's some of those like long haul like driving trips, or if you've ever been part of like a music community where you go to a show somewhere out of state, it feels like you spend the night at a Denny's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, as I mentioned, we have gone through and may still be in. I don't know. I'm sure the market research would tell us if I looked that up. A board game renaissance,
Mhm.
and board games are insanely popular.
Well, it's not like we're almost stuck at home or anything like that.
Well, yeah. Well, but it was pre-COVID. This board game thing was happening. It was really
It
awesome.
was.
We have a store. I know comic book stores those are few and far between. But we've got a store in Rochester, New York, and it's not a comic book store, but it is a gaming store, and they have stood the test of time. From I believe the 80s on through. They used to be called Crazy Igor's Discount Game Warehouse.
That's a great.
Oh, my Zoom just died, so if you guys can hear me, we're not getting any audio at the moment.
Trouble, and then we'll know.
Okay, Zoom's back.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
that was the
That
best.
was so good.
And we can't top that.
Did we tell
There you
that
go.
joke again?
Perfect.
No.
To be there. You
A
had to
blooper.
be there.
I was riveting you all with my story of Crazy Igor's Discount Game Warehouse. That is now called Millennium Games, and they are just a warehouse of board games. And they went through the era of LAN computers and all that sort of stuff, and that's gone. But they host Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and D&D, and you can bust out any video or board game you want there, and just it's pretty incredible. And I'm impressed that this place exists, and I frequent them. I don't have the budget for $50 board games most of the time, but
Yeah, they've gotten pricey.
yes, and well, complex like so one of the games that I like, I'm still here. It's beautiful. It's simple. It's called Photosynthesis.
Oh
And-
yeah.
Real simple game,
Oh,
but
I've seen that. Yeah.
it's just a beautiful game. And inside you've got these little 2-dimensional bits that you put together to make trees. And the whole premise is you every round the sun moves around the board, makes a movement, and you build up your forest to gain
Isn't
points.
this called gardening?
Well,
Just
No,
go
you play a
outside.
game about gardening.
it's a game about gardening. Real simple concept. You have trees of 3 sizes that gain points, 1, 2, and 3 points, and they cast shadows 1, 2, and 3 spaces to block out your other players. But it's just a beautiful game visually, and a real simple concept. But yeah, pricey. They're
Is it more of a kids learning kind of game, or is it an adult game?
all of the above. It's simple
Okay.
enough that a child gets it, but the strategy is pretty good because you have to plan ahead as the sun moves. It's not quite, the sun is not at an angle. It shines. You must be at like the Arctic at a certain time of year because it shines sideways. It goes around, and you have to plan your trees at the perimeter. You're going to get more points at the start, but they're going to cast shadows on your own trees. It can get pretty complex, and it's fun. The simplicity of it is what I like, and it has an end point. You can play 3 or 4 rounds of the sun going around the circuit, and in that time you can grow your trees, and then you can have them die, and you gain the points that they're of the place they're sitting on, and it's simple. I like it because it doesn't take long to pick up.
Now I'm a deciduous forest kind of guy.
I
Can I play an oak?
You can play an oak. They have conifers. Yes, Rory. It's
Ferns.
a tree for. They're all trees. It's a tree for every man. You can be very happy. The other end of the spectrum.
Can you play a fungi?
You are a fungi. The other end of the spectrum. This is this one's been around for a while. Have you guys seen Killer Bunnies?
I'm not.
Oh, you've made me play that.
Rory played. This is a game. This is a game
Poor
that you
Rory.
can play.
His parents made him play Monopoly. You're making him play
Uh-huh.
Killer Bunnies or whatever.
Killer Bunnies. This is a game that you can be the best through the whole game and still not win. Which, case in point, Rory can be the worst through the whole game,
Not paying attention at all.
still win. So it has a variable at the end, so that if you are one of those people that just can't stand that variable that's out of your control, it is not a game for you, because you can collect all the points and all the monies and all the bunnies and still lose.
Yes.
It is a game that can be it has a lot of rules, but all the rules are on the cards. So they're all very logical, and it can get a little crazy. This is the other end of the spectrum from photosynthesis. You have bunnies that can fire weapons at each other. The game requires putting you have 5 cards in your hand and 2 on the table, and so those 2 on the table will be the cards you play, but you play them one at a time. So as it goes around the table, that second card you have could become irrelevant. It could be, you can't play it by the time it gets back to you, or the result of the attack that you had planned can be completely different. And this is a game that can be played in half an hour or 3-4 hours. You don't know, and sometimes it will go on and on and on. I really, really like the game, but you have to dedicate the time. You have to know. So the way I got this game was a family reunion. My cousin who had a girlfriend who he was texting the whole time. He was pulling a Rory and not paying attention. So every time it came to him, he said, "What are we doing? What's going on?"
Explain that again.
Yeah. So he didn't know what to do, and really just ruined. I wanted to strangle him.
He ruined your fun.
He ruined my fun, and he ruined everyone else's fun. And we just ended. We just stopped playing. So he felt so bad that he bought this for me and my wife and sent it in the mail to us. So that was nice of him. and we've had this for quite a while. Who else has a new game that has grabbed your attention?
I've got a couple others. New being in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
I believe. And keeping with this year, Pandemic makes some
Oh.
good stuff.
That's a great one.
And they make
Oh.
Reign of Cthulhu.
There's a-
Pandemic.
oh my goodness!
It is good. It is really good. The whole map of this town, and you got to get around the town and close all the Cthulhu gates and all that. And there's all the different
Yeah.
old ones that can pop out and cultists, and everything keeps coming at you, and you got to move around the board, getting rid of all of them. It's fun.
Oh, thank you, Rory. I'm putting that on my list.
Yeah. And then 2 other games, same company, Game Right, Forbidden Island and Forbidden Desert.
Those are fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yep.
It's not a board, but it's a bunch of tiles that you stack up or flip over. And same game, I don't know what we call it, engineering, where on the island, tiles are constantly sinking. So you have to shore them up while finding parts to a helicopter to get out or something. And then
You
Forbidden
sure this
Desert.
is a board game? This sounds
Yeah.
more like some kind of computer, some
No, it's really fun. It's like the analog version of a computer game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I guess is
Alright.
what all board games are.
Yeah.
In Forbidden Desert, sand piles up and you can't move until you clear out all the sand. But the eye of the storm changes every turn, so different areas stack up. And it's a really, really good time.
I like those games where the game plays against you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's
You're
another
not playing
called
against the other players, you're playing with them, and even then it's difficult.
Yeah.
Shadows over Camelot is another one that I really
Mm.
enjoy, where every round, every player has to do something. They have to either lose a life point or allow the bad to happen, and I don't remember what it's called.
Ooh.
Darkness to creep in. So you can only lose so many life points. You also have one traitor in the game, which is a lot of fun. So somebody is slowly trying to undermine the team, and you're all knights of the round table, and so you have to leave Camelot to go battle invading armies,
Rabbits.
try to find Excalibur or the Grail. So it's a fun one. You all work together except for that traitor. But yeah, those are good. Those are awesome. Good ones, Rory.
In
I
the
couldn't, if I played Camelot, it would just become Monty Python.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
in the chat, if I pronounce her name incorrectly, I am sorry. Larkin Marie Leal Mullen says they like Untold Adventure Awaits, which I am unfamiliar with.
I'm unfamiliar as well. Untold.
Yeah, Untold Adventure Awaits. Let me.
Well, how is anyone going to know about it if it's untold?
Exactly.
Good.
All right,
No,
they.
hi,
It's-
Larkin.
Okay, it's a game for 1 to 4 players. Playtime says 60 minutes. Pull up the Amazon page. No, I want to go there. It's a cooperative storytelling game
Hmm.
by Rory's Story Cubes.
Rory Story Cubes. I'm
Hey.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
They're sponsoring today's stream. I think.
Right. Yeah.
No, brought to you by not
Yeah.
by. Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like a creative adventure as you go type game. Looks pretty cool
Thank
actually.
you.
Yeah.
I'm putting that on my list as well.
What was
Yeah.
it called again?
Untold.
Colon. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Untold Adventure Awaits.
Untold Adventure.
At-
Awaits.
Adventures await.
Adventures. Yes. It's on Amazon.
Sounds fun.
There's I love boardgamegeek.com, Rory. There's always lots of great reviews for
Okay.
the games there. So
Mhm.
Brent, are we gonna lose you after the break?
Afraid so.
Okay, so do you
Mhm.
have any parting thoughts? Anything you
Wise
want
words.
to tell the world before we cut to the review?
Just for those of you who like board games, I want to say more power to you. I'm so glad you have found something that you enjoy. Please continue to do that, and I'll just be over here.
So
I'm reading his book.
So after his first story, I do have a game that I want to bring up while Brent is still here.
Oh,
Uh,
So Brent has already mentioned experience. loathing Axis and Allies, and this is what's really going to lose him. It sounds like you're playing the 1936 version of the game, and there are 2 other versions. Actually, there might be 3 now of Axis and Allies.
Huh.
You have 1914, which is World War One, which I'm actually interested in playing at some point, which I have not got yet because it is the most expensive one. But this will either lose you or make you slightly forgive it. There is Axis and Allies 1936, which is designed to cut 2 to 3 hours off the total game time. And that is what I've been playing a lot of in the last 2 years.
Huh. So it's shorter.
It is, yeah.
There's no America.
Okay.
There isn't a America, so it cuts in. It's supposed to be cutting in right as America got to the war, so you're supposed to be wrapping things up essentially.
Oh,
So,
36 and
Yeah.
46.
right. So there's 1936, 1941, and 1914 is World War One.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have the 1941, which is everything's about to wrap up essentially. So it's a much shorter experience, but it's still you get to feel like a tactical mastermind when you run your tanks along someone's southern border.
Hmm. Okay. Well, it
Brent-
is very magnanimous of the game creators to make war more palatable for the-
Exactly. Yeah. I know.
So
We heard you like war, but
It's
shorter.
a learning experience.
Yeah.
we are.
I don't know,
moving
any
closer
games where you
from
need to know
once.
what different dates are and all that kind of stuff doesn't sound like a game I want to play. Give me Boulder Dash or something like that where you can make up bull crap.
That's a good one.
I love
Yeah.
Boulder Dash. Boulder
Yeah.
Dash is fun.
Yeah. Boulder Dash was
Just make up crap. That's
Make
I'm
up-
good at
yeah.
making up crap. That's me.
Brent, before you go, tell all of our viewers where they can send their game suggestions for you and how they can find you on the socials.
They can find me at Brent at getbent.org. No, actually.
Can you please register that?
Right. So Brent T-
Brent at gopoundsand.com.
Get Brent.
and Brent.Vector on Instagram.
All right. All right.
And
You do amazing work.
Yeah.
And go check out his comic book, KLS at silverlinecomics.com. And we are going to cut to our review here after we all say goodnight to Brent. Brent, thank you. Good night, sir. He will not be here after the break. And we'll
He's
see
going
you.
to go play some games.
Yeah, we'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully. All right.
I'll be here.
All right. So
Good night,
coming up,
everybody.
No.
coming up is our comic book review from Mr. Wayne Hall. We hope you enjoy that, and we'll be back right after that. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, it's Wayne Hall back again with an indie comic you can buy in your local comic shop. This week, I wish I had thought of this sooner. Unfortunately, Halloween came and went before I got to talk about it. There's a book called Touching Evil that is a shaking book. It makes me shake when I read this book. It's just so amazingly good story. The books that I have are collected editions. They are available in individual issues from Source Point Press. This one has the first 7 issues in it. That was an indie book that was self-published, but it's now available through Source Point Press. This is the second volume, and you can see Source Point Press's logo on there. That's them. This one, they're putting them out on individual issues, and issue 9, I know, just came out. This one has up to number 11. And I thought what I would do to get things started is to read the description of this book. It says, Touching Evil follows Ada Mansfield, an ordinary woman with an extraordinary curse. She can kill anyone she touches if they're evil. She can touch people and they're good and they don't die, but if they're evil, they die. And there's a little more involved. I'm going to spoil a little bit. When they die, they end up entering her subconscious. And what happens is that when she ends up talking with them, she's able to interact with them even though they're dead and they're now a part of her, she gets to deal with them and find out stuff and gain some knowledge from what they're doing. There's a really interesting thing. Gosh, I hate to spoil this, but it's something you got to read. The thing that happens is somebody, when they discover her curse, they actually ask her. They manage to get, let's just say, a part of her that they can use for their own good. They separate a part of her, and that person makes sure they don't touch that part, but they're able to use that to kill other people. And what happens is, to the woman, is when these people die by touching that part of her, they still go into her subconscious. That scares the heck out of me. I'm sorry. That is just an amazingly scary thing. The way that the book starts out, there's another guy, an older gentleman who's dying, who has the curse, and it gets transferred to her. She's an attorney. Interestingly enough, she doesn't die when she gets touched. Kind of thought that was going to happen there for a minute when I read it, but it's such an interesting thing. It's described as cinematic. It's Breaking Bad meets The Twilight Zone. Never before in comic book form have the complex relationships and ramifications of the concept of good and evil been so masterfully explored as they are in the pages of Touching Evil. As I said, SourcePoint Press has been putting out the individual issues. They are available in local shops. And like I said, number 9 just came out, which is in this book. I don't think they've put the collected edition of that out yet, although they were involved when this came out. And of course, I think somewhere, if you can find it, some stores may have this. But I would recommend getting right now the individual issues. She has a son, and the son gets involved in all this. What happens is she ends up trying to escape all this, and she takes her son and they run away. And it doesn't really help that much. And of course, she's terrified that she's going to touch somebody, so she's always wearing gloves. And she won't make contact with anybody as a result of that. The really interesting part is what happens when she starts to have these dialogues with the people who have died and have been transported into her subconscious. She has to deal with the fact that they're dead, and she has to talk with them, and that brings a whole lot of guilt up when she does stuff. And the poor, I feel so sorry for her. It's just such an amazingly gripping story. I just, and I'm not much for horror. I always have to say, I'm not a big horror fan. What is good about this story, and I think it's true about the horror that I like, is that I care about the people involved. I very quickly got to care about dear old Ada Mansfield and her son in particular. For a while, when this whole thing starts to happen, she's surprised by who dies and who doesn't. She thinks some people are really, really good, and then they end up dying. So she puts on gloves. She won't touch anybody as a result of it. She just is afraid of who's going to die. And let's just say this ought to be a horror show. It really ought to be. It's just one of those gripping books. So let's get to the grading, shall we? The writing grade, I have to say, I would give it definitely an A. The writing is such, the development of the characters, the suspense, that's a big deal of horror for me. I always like that. It's just really well done. I think the dialogue is well told, and you just don't know what's going to happen yet, and yet you got to turn the page to see what's going to take place. The art I would give a B to. It's a little less developed than I would have liked. It's a little too simple for my tastes. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just I would have liked something a little more intricate involved. B's still a good grade. I really liked it. And next is lettering, which I am always really hard on. Some of this, the one thing I get a little concerned about is when certain things are happening, when people are thinking or talking, it's a script. I think this is largely when Ada is thinking. you get a script font, and it's a little hard to read sometimes. So I will give it a B. It doesn't cover up the text badly, which is what I always get nuts on. That drives me crazy. Literary merit. The literary merit of this, again, this is one of those stories that it's not time locked. I mean, some of the technology may be getting a little out of date. Cell phones don't get used a lot and things like that, which we've kind of gotten used to. But I think that the characters are so profound, and the horror and the suspense is such that it's going to really, I think, going to be timeless. So I have to give it an A as far as literary merit. As always with my books, fun factor is not a big thing. There's some dark humor in here, very dark. If you're looking for fun, no. I don't think young children should read this either. I would have to say this is something for, teen and above at least, because I just think that it's, I love The Hand. That's such a great thing. This is one of those horror books that is going to require a little maturity to read, if you get my drift. There's different characters involved. The person who, shall we say, takes off with part of her is a nasty no good. This is why he doesn't allow any of this stuff to touch him. But there's no fun factor in this one. There's a little dark stuff once in a while. Not funny. Not at all. Overall grade. I would have to give this an A. As far as things go, A to A minus. It's just a... Gosh, it just... I was getting the individual comics from... and the writer by the name is... a guy by the name of Dan Doherty. And I was so gripped into this book that he was saying that he had some collectors who wanted really mint copies of stuff. And I said to him, look, I don't want mint copies. Just send me the book. I got to read what happens. So it tells you how into the book I am, is that I didn't care about the condition. I just wanted to read it. Tell me the story, which is really good stuff. So it's Touching Evil. It's out from Source Point Press. I think the first collected volume is out. If it's not, it will be soon. The first 9 issues are out of the story. I'm not exactly sure how many he's got coming, but let me tell you, you want to read this book. If you like horror and suspense, yeah, this is a book you should have. And again, this is Wayne Halt, and I'll be back soon with another review. So until then, keep reading your comics.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Silverline's Wednesday night WHAM. It is after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means it is Silverline After Dark. Grab yourself a nice rosé, pull up a blanket, and enjoy this evening's activities hosted by Scott Wakefield.
Let's cuddle up with comic books. That's what we should call the second half. Cuddle up with Pillow Talk with Rory.
Let me get my clap on fireplace going.
Alexa.
Hello, and welcome back. Thank you, Wayne, for your reviews. Those are awesome. We appreciate them. Wayne does have a Facebook page, and he does have his own comic book reviews and chit chat that he does. So check him out. Give him a like, follow, subscribe, all those good things, and share. Everybody forgets the share part. Share. If we grow our audience, we grow the love, and we have more readers, and it's all just good and wonderful. We are Wednesday Wham. If you're just joining us, if you've been here the whole time, thank you. If you're watching this later, thank you. If you're watching this no matter what, thank you. We appreciate it. Always feel welcome to make a comment, and we will try to respond to those here on the show. Tonight we are talking about board games. We have an array. We've dwindled down on our group tonight, but we've got some strong feelings. Mr. Brent Larson, not a big fan of board games. That's okay, but he can articulate why he's not a big fan. We've talked about the rules and the misuse of the rules and misappropriation of justice during Monopoly and Uno. And Tommy has crazy Crazy Uno, I think is what it's called. Wacky Uno,
Something.
something.
5-deck.
And
That's right.
and he goes wild with Uno, and it's every man or woman for him or herself, no holds barred, battle royale Uno. And
Definitely.
we talk classic games, and we are talking some new games. And as always, we are welcome to talk about many other things. If you have an idea of something you want to talk about, comic books, movies, so on and so forth, feel free to chime in. So we've moved from the classic games. I'm not telling anyone we can't talk about that, but I talked about the complexities of a game called Killer Bunnies and the simplicity of a game called Photosynthesis, and how much I have enjoyed both of those games. Rory had some great suggestions. Forbidden Island, right? And
Forbidden Desert.
Forbidden Desert and Forbidden Planet. Is that a?
Oh, is that a new one?
No, isn't that isn't that the Leslie Nielsen sci-fi movie from the 50s?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'd play it or watch it.
it's a good one.
1956.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Hey, look at that! I pulled that out of my backside.
Leslie Nielsen. Yep.
So another fun one, Rory.
Story
where
about-
you move, you kind of have to work with each other and against each other. Is King of Tokyo.
Oh yeah.
It's, you've got the city, and you can attack. So one monster has to be in the city, and the other.
I was say, is this like a Godzilla thing?
Yeah. And so it's kind of fun because you've got Godzilla, and or I don't know if you're allowed to have Godzilla, but you've got something
Non-trademarked large lizard creature.
Didn't we talk about that? How Universal tried to sue Nintendo because of King Kong and Donkey Kong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you've got little kind of goofy looking guys here, little monsters that are attacking the city. And you attack the city, but when you're in the city, you gain more points, but you also have the chances are higher that you're going to get damaged by the other players. So it's kind of you have to have a tactic about trying to win the game within the city, but also not die while you're in it. A lot of fun. Rules are not that complex once you know what's going on and you start to get a tactic. It is funny, the phenomenon of people that don't play games and the people that do, and how quickly because a lot of the game mechanics or the rules are similar. For instance, my mother-in-law, and I love her dearly, she does not play stuff like this. And we tried playing Munchkin.
Oh, that one.
And Munchkin operates as if, you are a person with arms and legs and a head, and you put on armor and you hold weapons and all this sort of stuff. And it was just like I didn't know the words to say, and I'm not saying this in a mean way. It's just the words coming out of my mouth going in her ear were not processing, and I did not know how to explain the game to her. She played for about 3 minutes and was like, "Hey, no," and yeah, because she
said I need to go use the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah. Right out the window.
Whenever you're done. So yeah, it's funny. People that are into it, they get it. And, you just new game. Okay, new game. Got it. Rules. Okay, you roll this dice. You it's a deck building game. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then a new person and no clue. So
Too funny.
yeah, Munchkin's another good one that I really enjoy. And there's like a zillion variations on Munchkin. My kids
I've seen that one in the comic stores and stuff.
Kids have an Adventure Time, I think, a version of this one. And the zombie one.
I have a Warhammer 40,000 version of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. A Warhammer.
Can you play them all together?
Some are expansions and some are just their own, like your Coast Guard Monopoly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
they usually recommend that if you or say that in general you can kind of mix and match cards in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them, the zombie Munchkin was confusing because I don't remember, you are the zombie, and so it's good, and it was confusing because it looked like it was a bad guy, and I don't think you play it by itself. I think you need to play it with the regular game.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've played that. And my last game that I have as an example for tonight is this game I highly recommend it called Code Names. And Tommy, you'd like this one.
Okay.
If you got 4 or 5 people, 6 people, you can. I don't know what's better, smaller or larger groups, because the larger groups it gets crazy, but crazy in a way that makes the game a lot of fun. So the whole premise of Code Names is you have 2 teams of you're supposed to be like spies. And the way we set it up, you sit on other sides of the table, and in the middle you have, I think it's 25 words on little cards between you. And so one person, like this one says gas, the other side says cast. It doesn't matter. So you have words, 25 words on the table between you, and one person from each team has to give a clue to their team. They know. So out of the 25 cards, you have to get, I don't know, 9 of them or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's not at random. You have specific cards, and the 2 spies are the only ones who know which cards they need to get. So you look at the words, and you are allowed to give 2 clues, a word and a number. So if you find 2 cards that say there was gas and there was car, you could say fuel 2. And your team would have to know, okay, it's fuel and car. Car needs fuel. But then there might be another word on there like oil. And that's not one of your cards. And you don't want them to guess that card. So in your mind, you are just screaming at your team about the words that they need to read your mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is a psychic game. All right,
it really you're trying to just, and you
just
can't
like
say,
euchre.
You can't say, oh, this is a tough one. You can't say, oh, you'll never get this one. You can't give any other clue besides the one word and the one number of the corresponding cards. Now it could be 1, 2, 3. If you got 3 that you can line up, that you can find that are similar. Honestly, one of the greatest moments in my life, and I don't remember the cards, but I was able to get 3 cards by saying GoldenEye 3. And Rory knows I try to work a GoldenEye reference in as many times in my life as I can. Not the video game, but I love the video game, but the movie, the Pierce Brosnan, James Bond.
Yeah. Did you see the news about the Arecibo Observatory, that big satellite dish?
Yeah.
It collapsed.
Finally fell apart.
I went there when I was in Puerto Rico. It's incredible. Or was incredible.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it fell apart when
they think it's back when
they tore it up.
Sean Bean. Yeah. Alec Trevelyan. It's good. We've worked a good GoldenEye reference.
I haven't been civil.
That's good. That's Alan Cumming. He's in he was Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
And he's in a TV show now. Anyways, a good actor. Codenames, they make for those of you who like this sort of thing, they make a Marvel version. And I think it's the cinematic universe. I think it's the movies, but not that it really matters. And I'm sure they make other versions of it. So Codenames gets a huge thumbs up from me.
You probably like the Resistance as well. It's the same game idea, I guess, where one person's the traitor and you got to go around and try to figure out who it is.
Is it similar to like Mafia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my kids are playing Among Us now.
Oh yeah.
So much sus.
Yeah. I've streamed it a couple times. I streamed it before it got big. Where was my comeuppance Twitch?
Yeah.
Isn't that the game where there's a
hipster?
What? Tell me the general idea. That's an online game.
Yeah,
right?
so it's an online game. 5 to 10 players are all astronauts on a spaceship or space station.
You gotta play it.
Yeah, this is actually the theming is right up Scott's alley.
Yeah.
And 1 to 2 or 3 are imposters, where they are aliens that disguise themselves as the astronauts and are attempting to destroy the station, either by killing all of the astronauts or by blowing up the reactor, venting the O2, any one of these mini-fold methods. And so during the course of the game, you're completing tasks to make sure the station does not fall apart. as an astronaut,
While trying to not get killed.
trying not to get killed. But you cannot talk to anyone else in the game at that point. You can only talk once a body has been discovered and reported, or if someone calls an emergency meeting. And then you have a minute to discuss, think who you think it is, and either vote them out or skip and try again next time.
Well, maybe next week we should play this game on our stream here.
It's
Yeah,
actually
it'd be good.
it's pretty inexpensive, and you can even get it on your phone and play with people on their computer.
Yeah, my kids. But it's funny. My two older will sit on the couch next to each other, playing this game. You know, they're in the same game, and it's pretty funny to watch them because they get super intense about it.
Yeah. It's always funny if you're playing this in like a house with other people who are invested in it, because you'll be in separate rooms or kind of wherever, and then it's dead quiet, and then you just hear someone slam their hands on their table.
So there's another. Now I'm sorry, I'm diverting from board games here, but it's similar to a board game. Is it's a phone-based game called Space Team, and it's very simple in that you can. I think it's 2 to 6 players. I'm not sure. It might be just 4, but your phones link up either via Wi-Fi or their own Bluetooth. And your phone has a little control panel. It looks like a spaceship control panel, and it has little toggle switches or an on-off button or a slider or a dial, and you will get a command on your phone, and that command is for somebody else. So you'll have someone like toggle the flab dabbler, and they have a flab dabbler on their screen. But out of the 4 people, the other 3, you don't know who it is. After a while, you try to figure it out. You can figure it out, but everyone's simultaneously. So they might be yelling, "Do the laundry," and I have the laundry on my phone, and I have to do the laundry and do that. Or they'll say, "Turn off the thruster," and that's on somebody else's phone. So you got 4 people shouting commands for somebody else's phone, and that's another game where people just get louder and louder because you'll be like, "Toggle the flab dabbler. Toggle the flab dabbler, and so your ship is being chased by like a supernova. You're getting away from a supernova, and if you don't do all these things in time, it falls apart. Oh, there will be an asteroid field, and everyone has to shake their phone, or there's like a time warp or something, and you have to turn your phone. Everyone has to turn their phone upside down. Very fun, called Space Team. I think it's free.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Space Team. If you want to get crazy and obnoxious with a couple of people in the same place, that's a lot of fun.
Sounds like a good game to play in the office.
Yeah, it'll go over well when the officers walk in. Yeah, explain that one.
What are y'all doing?
I mean,
nothing.
Yeah,
can't be as
can't
bad
tell me
as
what to do anymore.
Team building.
Yeah.
Team building.
Yeah, team
right?
building. That's it.
yeah. I mean, can't be as bad as the time that the senior security team leader walked in while we're playing D&D. Is in the contractor bunks.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
We're private sectors, you don't get the quarter decked, but
Yeah.
Well, that kind of can bring back to that's board games. We hadn't talked about D&D or D&D or any superhero, any role playing games. That's board games.
Yeah, two of my favorite games just had one I just actually got into, which was Call of Cthulhu, that had a new edition come out, which has been super fun.
Oh.
And Shadowrun just had their new edition come out as well, and that's been one of my favorite RPGs for like a decade now.
Nice.
So, yes, I know many people have their bona fides from. I've been playing before it was first edition, so I started with second edition, so I've been playing for.
Well, really, second edition is when it really became D&D. Before then, it was just kind of a dungeon crawler.
Yeah. Second, and of all the games in the world, and I know it has its faults, and like fourth edition, and the 3.5 I liked, but you really had to be like, well, was it 3.5 or 4 that you like? Were so many numbers to keep track of.
So yeah, 4 was essentially you're just playing a video game that just told you what your progression path was. 3.5, you needed to buy 5 books just to run a game.
Yes. I've enjoyed 5th edition immensely. I love cooperative storytelling. I love the action, the battles, but I love just you never know what's going to happen. I love playing. I love being the dungeon master.
Yeah.
It it has so many good elements for storytelling, for world creation, and just the hanging out with your buddies. I love that. Like my son, he's not very talkative, and but you get him in Dungeons and Dragons, and he's another person, and it's great. He really enjoyed it. He just bought the Icewind Dale module.
Ooh, yeah.
I really want to read through it, but I'm not because he wants to DM it.
Oh, cool.
I'm
Good
not
for
gonna
him.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ruin it. I was running the Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, I
mod
sat in a couple of those.
Nice.
and
Did
one
you?
of the guys playing, I know he totally cheated. He
Oh, for
came
sure.
up with this solution, and I
Are
was
you
like,
calling them out right now?
TPK.
he hopefully he's not watching.
No, we
Not
need
that he'd admit it. Not
we-
that he'd admit. Oh, you feel guilty?
we need a beef that's good for views.
Yeah. But yeah, I like gothic horror, so the Ravenloft world is great. The trouble with that is making it not just miserable the entire time. You have to throw a ray of sunshine.
No.
So
No, you don't.
I don't care. I liked it.
Yeah.
As the DM. And my adventure was great. It devolved in one night. They were going fine, and then it was just a series of bad choices. And they were all 6th, 7th, 8th level characters, and they had gone quite a ways in the world, and we had been playing for probably a year. And in one night, in one location, they all made a series of bad choices. And I could have kept it going and try to salvage it, but it was so bad.
Nah.
Nope, you guys are stuck in Ravenloft forever. Sorry.
Yeah.
Love you. We're
Well,
done.
that had to be after the one I sat in on.
It wasn't long after you were.
It
I
was
think you were
the
there with
windmill.
One of the big. Oh yeah, you were there at the windmill. No, if you were there at the windmill, that's pretty early. I thought you were there at one of the big battles as well with the what are those misshapen, cobbled together people, like the mongrel folk?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I was there for that.
Yeah.
I was there for the night where we had to go pick up the bees. We were in a van full of bees.
That was
Real
real life.
That was in real life.
Bees. The bees. That's a Nicolas Cage reference.
Yep.
Yes, Rory and I have had many antics. We did pick up bees in my van. I keep bees, and I needed to go get bees, and so Rory helped me and was in a state of sort of panic the entire time of any.
Well, no, because we left the house in the dead of night.
Yep.
Pulled out of the driveway, and you're like, "Oh no, we're low on gas."
Oh yeah,
So we had to stop at the gas station in a van full of bees.
it was awesome. All
was
right,
good.
there's a little into the
sidebar.
lives of Scott and Rory. Yes, Cthulhu.
Yes.
Amazing.
Tim, talk about that.
So yeah, it's I like the Call of Cthulhu system because it's while D&D and other RPG systems have they do emphasize roleplay, but they do also have a heavy emphasis on combat, since that is your kind of main driver of conflict in a lot of epic fantasy or science fiction stories. Cthulhu's whole setting is that if you enter into a fight, you've already lost.
Yeah.
From the starter set, so our most recent was for Halloween. We did a session from the starter set. We had a group of kind of private investigators. One of them was actually a Kabbalist from a synagogue in New York City. So he was actually essentially the Jewish form of an exorcist. We had a circus strongman,
Strauss Manley.
yeah, an Irish beat cop who was had just transitioned off of Scotland Yard, and
Nice.
what's the other figure? we had an accountant who just graduated from Miskatonic University. So the it starts off normal. Everyone goes. Oh, they're hunting down at the request of a now deceased member of a paranormal club they all were part of at Miskatonic University, except for the Scotland Yard officer who's just there as a favor to a friend. And immediately one of them decides to mug a certain professor from Miskatonic University. Who made sense in his character that at this point he'd be carrying some sort of holdout firearm because he has seen some stuff that would make one more inclined to carry some sort of defense. So when the guy pulls open the car door, it's like, hey, I need to talk to you. He just gets shot in the chest. He rolled his luck very poorly.
Yeah, those luck rolls, you lose more than you make.
Yeah. Also, it has a great system in luck, and depending on the rules you play with. But generally, how it's played is that if someone looks for something, in some games the DM may okay, roll perception and see if you find it. In Cthulhu, it's okay, roll luck to see if it's even in the room first.
Yeah.
Or roll luck to see if the situation is going in your favor. The situation did not go in his favor. The professor is not feeling inclined to handle that moment. So he lost a lot of life and was bleeding out, so he got rushed up to a hospital while they concluded their investigation. They went to go find this dark ritual, and a standoff occurred where this beast that was kept at bay by magical wards was trying to harass them by throwing dead bodies and reanimating them in the same room. And of course, if any one of these creatures destroys a ward, the scenario would devolve into the beast breaking into the room and just murdering them all. But they have to complete this ritual in time in order to desummon this beast. And they get close, and then at the very end, after one has been their neck has been eaten out by one of these shamblers in the same room. The other one, during this process, rolled his sanity very poorly. Sanity, another great system where your character can literally just become insane. And he fled the room, ran upstairs, and found a giant zombified bear that mauled him. And then once the of course that was the strong man and the Scotland Yard officer, the two actual fighters in the group. So once the Kabbalist and the accountant finish their ritual, we roll luck again for the fighters that are moving around the room frequently throughout this entire time, and find that they rolled luck very poorly as well, and that they actually have scuff marks from the ritual circle on their shoes, and the circle is now broken. So the monster just smiles at them and vanishes. And the two surviving members now have not only the deaths of their two friends on their conscience, but knowing they failed. And that's just the joy of that game, is that the heroes don't have to win all the time. They can just know that they have
More often
unleashed
than not.
some misery onto the earth.
That's good.
So there's another game, and I recommend the game and another book by the author. I think his last name is Laws. The game is called Hill Folk.
Oh, that's right. You talked to me about
Oh,
that.
yeah,
one,
yeah.
Yeah, it's so. Here's the thing. As far as the storytelling world, I had trouble getting into it. I had trouble really getting my buddies to play for multiple weeks. Like D&D's easy. But what is his name? I'm going to look him up. His Robin Laws. He has another book called oh my gosh, I'll think of it just a second. So for storytelling, though, if you are one who likes the story side, and if you are a writer or someone creating a world in your story world, what Hill Folk requires, and the author talks a lot about it in his writing, is in every story you want something, and you want something from everybody else, and it can be very simple, it can be very I want you to buy me lunch, or or even more so, I'm going to rely on you to provide money for me. So I'm the petitioner and you are the grantor. When you're talking about creating characters in the D&D world, a lot of times like I'm a fighter from the north and you're a wizard from the hills. We have nothing in common, nothing related to each other, except we all always meet in a tavern and some strange person comes up and gives us a quest, or the mayor is distraught and knows we're a bunch of adventurers. What Hill Folk really does is it combines, you have to have some sort of relationship with every person in the group, and then you have to have what you want from that person, and they will in kind know what they are withholding from you. So it makes a tighter knit group, and it makes the interaction I think much better, because you're also you were former lovers or your cousins, or he's your stepdad. I don't know, and it makes it makes the relationships much more important, rather than you're just a bunch of adventurers who happen to meet in a pub and find out there's something wrong. So I love that element. I need to get back into it. It was just kind of tough to get the game going, and it's tough to get people to relearn or learn a new set of rules for a game. Because this game was not action based as far as fighting and armor class and all that sort of stuff. So Hill Folk I recommend, and especially if you like the creative storytelling side. Hamlet's hit points.
Yes.
That's his. He analyzes the ups and downs, the gives and takes of Dr. No, Casablanca, and Hamlet. I think Hamlet. And he shows how you can chart out a story, and you can have its main story arc, but then within each scene and interaction, you can have the give and take from the hero, or he puts them in the grantor and the petitioner. Makes for good storytelling, and to improve your storytelling, I really recommend both of those. And that's my 2 cents there.
There you go.
Tommy, you brought up D&D. Do you play?
Apparently not as much as you guys, but no, I played a little bit, especially in college and stuff. But we mostly played superhero role-playing games like V&V and Champions, and I forgot what it was called, but it was the superhero version of GURPS. You remember the GURPS role-playing?
Oh yeah.
Generic role-playing game thing where it's had the general rules, and then you could just dump in all kind of different stuff to it. But yeah, we mostly played superhero stuff. And then of course we changed the rules up as we went to make it more fun. Because we were more into to having just a good time and stuff. Pretty much would always throw out all of the punchback stuff, all the heavy math stuff. Nobody wanted to, even though some of the guys that were playing were math major type folks, but nobody wanted to sit there and have to figure out how fast you would fall from the sky, and then how much damage you would create, and all that kind of stuff, and how big of a hole in the ground that kind of stuff. So we were mostly just playing for just fun.
You reach maximum velocity at 9.82 Gs.
Yeah, all that crap. We never. Yeah, we were even the math guys. This is no fun. I'm just trying to play. I don't want to have to figure out all the math for all this stuff.
Right.
Especially all the punchback stuff. Like if a lot of those games, the superhero games, were when you had the super strong folks would punch people. How far back would they fly? When you punch them, and what and the damage they would cause to what, and all this stuff, and we always kind of just skipped all that kind of stuff, made it more comic booky, But
so with the advent of all these games being improved upon and modernized, is anybody an ardent adherent to paper still when they play like D&D or any of this sort of stuff? Because I am.
Yeah, I prefer that.
I want the piece of paper in front of me. Now I understand the ease that comes from like the D&D.
D&D
Beyond the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, because then you don't forget that I am wearing a helmet of intuition or something like that.
Yeah.
But what I find is when people use the app, they have no idea, and I'll say, well, "How do you have a 22 armor class?" "Oh,
Yeah.
it says I do. So I encourage people to use the paper first
Mhm.
to build their character.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to switch to the app for ease, because you forget, I'm wearing a ring of fortitude or whatever, or I have 3 more rounds, I'm stunned, and they forget that, and the DM forgets too, and then they say, I'm stunned, and you gotta change all the rules. But
Yeah. We, depending on the system, like for Shadowrun and Cthulhu, we use paper still, but with the new quarantine here and everything, we've pretty much stuck to D&D Beyond Old this year.
Yeah.
And it's been super great for that.
Yeah. Roll20 has been good for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even before then, back in college, when we were poor college kids who couldn't afford to buy new sheet books every now and then, and also just didn't want to use the school printers, the Wizards at that point had put out the modifiable PDF. So we used that before D&D Beyond was a thing.
And 4th edition, with its crazy amount of numbers and modifiers, do you remember there on the, I think it was the D&D website, you could, for free, you could create your character, and up to 3rd level they print out printable character cards.
Yeah.
But I didn't play 4th edition very long. I bought the player's handbook because my buddy bought everything else.
I don't think anyone did, and that's why they switched to 5e as rapidly as they did.
Yep. Yeah. 3.5 was the one for the longest, I think, and then now 5.
It's about as far back as I went.
Yep. Yeah, that's 3.5, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a long time since I've played anything. Uh-oh. Did I disappear? Yep.
Oh,
You're still here.
we
Am
still
I
got.
back? All right.
Yeah.
No, my iPad has magnets on it, and apparently I touched my laptop where the magnets are, and it shut off.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
It's still here.
Tom just wipes his hard drive.
Is that still a thing? Can you do that?
I don't think
So,
solid.
this laptop's got solid state.
Not with solid state, but with like still use magnetic drives. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's floppies.
We're getting the last 15 minutes of our show here. We got to start coming up with our parting thoughts. As I said when I opened, I'm a big fan of board games. I'm a big fan of analog. I love video games and I love technology and that everything that comes with it. But they're in quarantine time, it is difficult getting your buddies around the table. It's tough. But now that you can do that, kind of a mix of analog and digital, I think it's a fantastic thing. And if you've got kids or family, grab a board game. Check out the suggestions we've made here. There's so many options, and D&D that is more popular than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it's not just in D&D anymore. You have things like Lords of Waterdeep, where you can play. You can be the quest giver.
It's an incredible phenomenon, and I love it. And what it has done too for kids that might be a little socially awkward, and it's studied. It's been studied about people who don't necessarily want to interact, whatever you want to call normal in a school setting. But when you do a role playing, it's a different world, and I think that's a huge thing, and I love it. And I love that when I get together with my buddies, or when I got together with my buddies, we're 60 down to 18, and we have a fantastic time. And I think a lot of times the whole point isn't the game, no matter what you're doing, board games or D&D or anything like that. The point is the fun with your buddies,
having a good time.
Yeah. And like Tommy said, you get to they made up their own Uno rules, and that's a blast. You make up your rules with D&D, or you stick to the rules, and that's kind of part of the fun. You can get in your well-meaning fights about if you're going to stick to free parking or not. Money, but I am a huge.
I did have a question for y'all.
Yeah.
Because doesn't happen for me because I just don't have time. Y'all seem like you have that you do play a lot of. Well, I don't know with all the COVID thing, but when do you have time to play all these games? Because I guess the reason why I don't play all these stuff, so I just don't. I don't have time.
Sheer
Yeah,
force of will.
I play 1 day a month.
Oh, do you? See.
We've had a weekly group. We had to shift days around to match everyone's schedule, but also I think it's like 6 people, so it's a decently sized group. You can manage schedules, and most of us.
You've got kids, so when you're playing the games with the kids and all that kind of stuff.
We try, and it's very hit and miss.
And then they flip the board over and go to the bathroom. And then they just
Tuesday, I try to keep Tuesday night open for family game night.
That's great. That's
and then
really
Monday night is the guys' night. It was for D&D, and actually we had a group of guys. We got up to about 15, 16 people, and
wow.
we had to split it up, and it was great.
That's too many.
Two tables in the kitchen going.
What we did is we split the groups, and we had 3 DMs, and we had three groups going.
That's what is this like y'all had a comic or a gaming convention going on in your house.
What we did was we were all members of the same guild, and the DMs knew the ultimate goal, but they were running their own adventures. And so what worked out for a little while is we kind of made a magical ring that the guild can control. So let's say this DM only has 2 guys show up tonight. Well, we would pull some guys from another group and round out the group. And so it was a very fluid, it worked for a while. And then it did get hard to manage. So we, some of those guys still play online, Zoom and Roll20 and all that sort of stuff. And my Monday night crew, we try to meet, doesn't always happen, but, it's for some of us, it's like, it's critical. We have to do this.
It's usually we're so busy the rest of the week that this is our time to socialize and meet with our guys.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So it's almost sacred. So
that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. So that's us. Why don't we start wrapping up? It's almost 11 o'clock. Folks out there in internet world, we appreciate you joining us tonight. If you're watching this not live, feel free to leave comments and questions. Let us know what games you like. If I remember, I will try to toss in some of the comments, some of the games we talked about tonight. And we love to keep the discussion going. If you're out there, you're part of the Silverline world here. We love the family. So we're going to wrap up. I will start by our good nights with telling you who I have been and who I will continue to be.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
My name is Scott Wakefield. If you did not notice my name on the screen, I am co-creator and co-writer of an upcoming title called Steam Patriots, steampunk American Revolution story that will be coming from Silverline, hopefully very, 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 very soon.
I love the pages you showed tonight. They were wonderful.
Oh yeah, top notch.
Hey, if folks out there, if you follow at Steam Patriots on Facebook or Instagram, you will see some of the art. I try to tease little bits of that. And that will be a continuing series, or at least 3 more parts after the first, hopefully, if it's a success. So yeah, follow and like all that. And professionally, I'm on LinkedIn. If you want to connect there, I try to be active there as well. So that's where I am. So Rory, go ahead.
Hello, Rory Boyle, also co-creator of Steam Patriots. You can find me on the LinkedIn as well, and the Gram sometimes. And if you want to see the artwork that we put out during Comic Conway, highly suggest going to rewatch that.
Oh yeah, thank you, Rory. Yes,
good one.
The panel entitled "What is Steam Patriots?" and what were the other 2 titles that were with us?
They don't matter. It was just ours.
It doesn't matter. It was just you. Yeah.
Yeah. So go watch the Comic Conway
Was
show.
there somebody else? I don't think there was.
No, there was 2 of us, right? 2 different titles.
There was a third. I don't remember what it. We shared a panel with 2 other titles.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Other 2 titles. We love you, but I've forgotten. Tommy, go ahead.
Thomas Floramonte Jr. I always spell it because even though it's on there, but I like to spell it anyway because Scott thinks it's funny. It's Florimonte. It is pronounced just like it's spelled, but still you're gonna try to say it different. But that's but just look for that everywhere. You can go to Inferno Studios to see all my personal Kid Hero stuff, the Little Nay and So and the Zomboy and all my all that good stuff, Mystery Girls, all that kind of crazy stuff. You go to Kablam Digital or kablam.com for all the digital printing stuff, and we'll keep doing the Silverline team up featuring Miss Fury and Champions.
Yes, that was good. That was good.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. Are you here?
Oh, did you say my name?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Kind of just got rolled together. I'm Tim TK, Associate Editor here at Silverline. You can find my contributions to our website at silverlinecomic.com. I'm on all the socials at Tim TK Writer. I am on TikTok at Tim Doesn't TikTok, where I've somehow found my way onto Punk Talk, so we just talk about punk rock literature, cyberpunk, and all the different fun stuff there. And I'm on Twitch at AgroBacon, where I'll be live playing Destiny later tonight, screaming at stuff. We hit sub count last month, in no small part thanks to Roy Boyle. So at some point in the future, we'll be doing a Four Loco stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did you say punk rock literature?
Yes.
Literature.
It's a genre I have yet to delve into.
Okay. Gentlemen, I'm not going to say goodnight just yet. Go to silverlinecomics.com and check out all of our titles. Also, stay tuned. Watch our Facebook and other places, wherever Silverline is. We are going to be live auctioning mystery boxes of Silverline goodies, including comic books and other amazing one-of-a-kind stuff. So keep an eye out for that. That's
old Belgian waffle maker.
There you go.
Yeah.
Waffle maker. Old
Roland's
pressure cooker.
fire iron. And
Yeah.
Old bike that he doesn't ride anymore. That kind of thing.
Deflated football.
keep an eye out. We're gonna we keep growing. We love the progress we're making and the titles that we keep adding. And very soon we'll have some more titles coming up via crowdfunding, and just keep an eye out for that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making this worthwhile and a lot of fun. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Gentlemen here tonight, Brent and is he the only one left? Yeah.
Yep.
And the other guys, I'll call you out next week. We are back next week, Wednesday at 9. There is a Sunday show, and then there is a sometimes Monday show, but that's not an always. So join us for all those. Share these with all of your friends and even your enemies. And as always, gentlemen, make mine
Mine.
Silverline.
Silverline.
And
That's a word.
good night.